We're now joined by our Coors Light pole winner, Jamie McMurray, driver of the number 1 Cessna Chevy. Jamie, new qualifying track record. I think a lot of you, this is our 11th qualifying track record that we've set this year with the new qualifying format. This is your 10th pole in the Sprint Cup Series, first pole of 2014, but third here at Sonoma Raceway. So obviously you've got this track figured out a little bit. So talk a little bit about your qualifying run out there today and being here at Sonoma and your chances for the race tomorrow.
Yeah, the last segment was really good. I was nervous when we pulled out for our first segment because our first lap, the track was just had no grip. It was way worse than what we had in practice. But I knew it was the same for everybody, so I just drove the car at 90% to make sure you didn't run off and get a good lap put together. I was a little disappointed that we had to go back out and make another lap to get into the top 12 because I felt like that was going to ruin our chances at getting a good spot, starting spot, or setting on the pole. But Keith and Josh, they just did an awesome job adjusting on the car, and I put together a really smooth lap the last run. I didn't feel like I got off turn 7 or turn 11 near as good as I did the previous two, but the S's were really good for me and just really quick around the corners. So that was a really this knockout qualifying is just an emotional roller coaster from not making it in the top 12 and having to go back out and bump your way in to then being on the pole. There's a lot of highs and lows that go with it, and it's really cool for us to kind of get bumped out and then come back and sit on the pole. So pretty cool.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Jamie. We'll start over here with Lee, then go to Holly.
You came down. That's big, huh?
What do you mean?
Well, normally I talk to this screen when I talk to you, I feel like.
Anyway, this is for the pride of Joplin, Jamie McMurray. Talk a little bit about how strong the road course program is, and your rookie teammate said, very graciously, he wondered what Juan Pablo could have accomplished in his car, but just talk a little bit overall about the strength of how you guys do on road courses.
Well, I don't feel like our road course cars are any better than our oval cars right now. Our cars are just really good. The engines are good. The simulation's working really well. I feel like our teams are working well together. So I don't put that just in this category. I think our short track cars are good. I think the intermediates are good. Speedway, all of them have been great this year. So it's nice that Kyle and I both put together good laps today, but it's not just about these cars. I think it's about our entire program right now. Yeah, I feel really good about it.
Go ahead, Holly.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Congratulations on the pole. And that kind of leads into my question. You've got 2 Ganassi cars in the top 3. No Hendrick cars advanced to the second round. Talk a little bit about the team and Ganassi this year. And this is another strong statement from you guys.
Yeah, I didn't. Honestly, I don't know where anyone else qualified. But the engines have been great, and I talked to Scotty from HMS before qualifying started, and we're talking about fuel maps and what we need, and they've been really helpful in not only providing good power, but just giving guidance, I guess, and when we have questions and helping us go along the right path. But our cars have been just really good all year long. Kyle is, I think, 8th or 9th in points right now. They really haven't had any bad luck yet, and he's been able to put all those races together and has a great season going so far. The one team has had great cars as well. Won the All-Star race, and when I look at the speed that we've had, even last week, I thought we had the car to beat last week, and I messed up on the last restart and spun the tires a little bit, and then the 88 got into the back of me, and it killed my momentum, and then I ended up brushing the wall, and it crumbled in like 30 laps. But we had a car, I thought, last week capable of winning. So and just every week it's been good, and even tracks that I've struggled at in the past or historically, bad tracks for me, Keith has been able to give me a car capable of running up front and maybe winning. So I can't say enough. I won't say what driver, but I was talking to a driver walking out of Michigan, and he asked where I finished, and he's like, he's a guy that's run really well in the past, and he's like, enjoy it while you have it, because he's like, it sucks when it's not going your way. And I'm like, well, I know this because I've been on both sides of it, but it is so much fun every week to come to the racetrack right now and know that you're going to qualify well, and if things aren't going well, that your team's capable of turning it around and getting a good finish out of it. So it's a really good time right now.
Okay, we'll take our next question here with Tom. Right behind you, Tom.
Hi, Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Jamie, what kind of advice did you give Kyle about this road course, and how surprising are you that he did so well his first crack here?
Yeah, I'm not shocked at all. Kyle has done a really good job at every track we've been to this year, and he's a sponge. You know, he's not only in asking me or the other guys questions, but he watches what happens on the racetrack, and I think does a really good job adapting to that. So not shocked at all. You know, we talked a little bit. We had a map, printed out, and I told him kind of this is what I look for in each of these corners, and this is what I want my car to do, so that when he goes out and practices, that he can, if his car's not doing that, he needs to come in and have him fix it. But they were a little bit off, I thought, in race trim, but every time they put their car in Q trim, he was really fast this weekend. So I expect for him to learn as the race goes, and he'll have a good day tomorrow, I bet.
And considering the grip was not very good, how do you explain the fact that so many of the drivers beat the qualifying record here today?
Well, our cars, and I say our cars, is Cup cars, Sprint Cup cars right now. We have, I don't know, an inch and a half more rear spoiler, and the front pan that they let us have creates a couple 100 pounds more downforce than what we had last year. So really almost every track we're going to this year, we can run faster. It just doesn't feel fast. It's weird that it feels that bad and that you can run that good of a lap time, but really it's just about how much more grip the cars have versus last year.
Okay, we'll take our next question. Go ahead.
Hey, Jimmy. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Following up what you just said about the new aerodynamics of the cars, does the new qualifying format have anything to do with how these records are falling? From a driver's perspective, any inspiration or motivation that's speeding guys up?
Well, I would say when we go to places that have just been repaved, Michigan or Kansas, that this qualifying format might help some of the speeds, because they bring such a hard tire to those tracks that normally your second or third run out. Like I think we qualified on 20-lap tires at Michigan just because the car is hard to drive on stickers. So I can see where it would help at some of those places, but here or Fontana, which is one of the slickest tracks we run on, there's like a second of fall off from the first run to the second run traditionally. But somehow this year, when we come in and let the cars cool down and you sit there for 15 minutes, you're able to go out and put it all together. And I've been pretty amazed at some of the tracks that guys have been able to go faster on their second or third run than what they could the first run at abrasive racetracks. But we did it today, and it's just about getting your car, the balance right, and making all the right decisions.
Do we have any questions up top?
Curtis Pashelka, Bay Area News Group. Jamie, you've been on the pole here twice before, but it hasn't necessarily translated into the results you wanted on race. But how differently do you feel about things this year, and what were some of the issues that kind of prevented you from finishing where you wanted the last two times?
Well, I don't remember exactly what happened in those other races, but this race is about having good strategy and having a little bit of luck. It's about not getting run into in turn 4, turn 7 on a restart. And I've run enough races here that I've had every issue you could have with running out of gas. One year with Juan Pablo, the year he won, to getting wrecked in turn 7 on a restart because someone from 15th dive bombing into the corner with no chance to make it. So in order to win, it's no different than any other weekend. You have to put it all together, and you have to have good strategy, you have to have a good car, and you have to make good decisions as a driver. And I just haven't been able to put it all together here. But I feel better probably about my car this year than I have in the past. I've qualified well here, but it's only been a few years I thought we had a really good race car. And yesterday in practice, I thought we had one of the better cars on the long run. We did a really good job going into the second practice at making the right adjustments to the car, and it hung on really well. So I feel better right now than I have in the past.
Any additional questions upstairs?
No more questions.
Okay, back downstairs. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Jamie. Dan Rusanowski, Comcast Sportsnet. Expect the unexpected seems to be the theme of this race over the last 10 years or so. Different winner almost every year, virtually every year. If you're in front, if you're in the first couple of rows, obviously it's an advantage on this track. But doesn't it even get emphasized, that theme, a little bit more to all the points you just made, and because of the new format for the grid for the chase, the fact that a victory is what's needed to get you in? Yeah,
this will be a pretty interesting race if we have especially if you have 2 or 3 guys that are looking for that first win, and we have a green white checkered, it'll be pretty interesting to see kind of how that plays out, because I think people will be really aggressive on the last few restarts. This is one of those tracks that you're going so slow at that you can get into somebody and just spin them out, right? You're not going to put them into the wall or anything, but it'll be interesting when if we have a green white checkered here and there's some guys fighting to get in that chase spot.
Okay, final question in the back. Go ahead.
Hey, Jamie, watching on television, we noticed the track was getting more dirt on it towards the end of that run, and that's when you made that last run. Was that a concern of you that the track was getting dirtier?
Well, I'm glad I didn't know that going out. No, I didn't see a lot of dirt. There was a little bit of dirt off turn 10, but there's someone runs off there every single lap when you're in practice, and the car's pretty straight at that point. So no, I didn't. I really didn't think about all that. Normally, when you go out to qualify, you're so zoned into kind of what's going on that you miss out on a lot of those, I guess, common things that you think you would see. You're so focused on shifting and braking and hitting your marks that I didn't really even see any of that.